Welcome to the Fat Jack Sports Hour. If you are a sports bettor, this is the most important hour of your day because the #1 sports consultant in America has brought his national radio show and podcast here to YouTube. So while you're here, go ahead and like and subscribe or download the podcast and listen on your schedule. And now, here is our host, the #1 sports consultant in America, ready to make you money this week and every week, the Fat Jack.
Hello and welcome to the Fat Jack Sports Hour. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host, the Fat Jack. The weekend is here. It's playoff weekend. It is wild card weekend. We came off an incredibly profitable week last week. We'll get to that and much more as we get this show underway. I'm in London actually right now. If you're watching us on YouTube, it looks like I'm a serial killer. And I have basically filed people away in the back of the room here. But this is what the Waldorf Astoria looks like in London at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So thanks for joining us, though. We're going to get you into some profit as we head into the weekend. Let me quickly bring in my co-host from Louisville, Kentucky, the opposite of London, England, Mr. Brandon Rush. Brandon, how are you, buddy?
I mean, they both start with L's and O's. No, you look fine. You don't have the glossy T-zone going this week. So, I mean, serial killer might be a slight upgrade.
That's true. I mean, I don't know. I was looking behind me and I'm like, this place is super dark. I mean, the building was a turn of the century.
Speaking of slaying and killing, how about you last week? Absolutely crushing the NFL.
Yeah, 9-2. 9-2 last week in football. Basketball did not lose over the weekend. It's one of those weeks. We have about 4 or 5 of those a football season. This year, we've had a lot more consistent winning weeks, but not as many, just all but Operation Clean Sweeps. I mean, nothing was even close except our 2 losses. We'll go over it real quick, and then we'll get you guys ready for the weekend. But if you're out there and you're betting, there's guys born every minute, Brandon. I just look at and just shake my head. You know, I mean, they won the week before, but for whatever reason, and a lot of them won the week before that, but for whatever reason, they decided not to sign up this last week. And you're just like, dude, did you quit betting? Because it's just you could not have lost. It's just such a good week. I mean, the football, we were 2-0 with the opinions on Monday, 0-1 with the selection. And that one selection on Monday, this is a week ago Monday, was the Illinois-Mississippi State game. If you follow us on Twitter, we talked about this a little bit. Yeah. But that was the game, for those of you who don't pay super close attention to the bowls, where getting 3.5 point with Illinois, Mississippi State takes the lead. They're up 3 or 2 or something with under 30 seconds to play. Illinois throws it to midfield. They start tossing it around like they do. Guy picks it up on the run, runs it all the way back in for a meaningless score with no time left to not do anything more than still win the game but cover the number for Mississippi State. That was our one loss on Monday. The rest of the week, no losses. One all week long. One Saturday, one Sunday. We had 7 plays on Sunday. Every one of them won easily, or not even close. Houston over. Detroit won straight up as an underdog. San Francisco, 14.5 point favorite, won by like 25. Philly under was never close to going over. Carolina, underdog, won straight up. Minnesota, minus 7.5 versus the Bears. They won easily. Everything won easily. Our only loss, the New York Football Jets, that, I mean, if you just heard me break down the Mississippi State game, it's round 2. They a meaningless nothing at the end of the game. The only difference was they were on like the 25-yard line.
Right.
I didn't even see it. What was so funny about that, Brandon? Then we're going to move on because 9-2, you can laugh at these things. Now, if I was 2-9 and had those, probably there's not as good a humor going on.
2-9, and that Jets result happens, you're burning down the Waldorf Astoria.
Honestly, I'm over at the Motel 6 because this place has fire damage, and I'm shopping for new clothes at the TK Maxx, not the TJ Maxx, because that's what it is over here. But yeah, the loss with the Jets was, I pretty much called it exactly. The Jets were going to play good defense, keep it. 4 of the last 5 had gone under. Those of you who watch Beat the Odds TV, I broke down this game. Teams with nothing to play for, playing teams that need to get in. They typically play really well. They just stalled inside the red zone time after time, and still getting 3.5 points. We're going to cover at the end of the game. Got the ball back with under 10 seconds or so to play. Another one of those, they kicked the field goal, trying to expire the time. Left 3 or 4 or 5 seconds. And the Jets proceed to throw the backwards pass. And somehow, I didn't watch the play, but it ends up in the end zone. They get a safety, right?
Yeah, so it was one of those deals. Yeah, they were down 3, trying to go the whole pitchy woo-woo. And then it just became a circus as they kept getting closer and closer to their own end zone. And the ball goes like towards the sideline. And honestly, Jack, if it was 4.5 feet the other direction, it's out of bounds inside the 2, and the Jets plus 3.5 covers. But it goes out of bounds inside the pylon, ends up being a touchback. And the funniest part about all of it, and like you said, at 9-2, you can laugh at it. The official, who's like kind of following on the sideline where the ball is, signals that it's like an incomplete pass. Like, no, dude, it was a backwards pass. And then
that's happened
like,
twice, by the way.
it's so ridiculous. And
The other
I will
game that
never.
was in London, we'd already made so much money. Like I say, swept basketball. By the way, also swept the board Saturday, swept the board. I mean, everything's deep into profit. But so that game rolls around. I'm typing to the people that had signed up. I'm sending an email. I say, oh, by the way, we swept the board early. This was before the later games.
Yeah.
So I put in the email, undefeated Saturday, undefeated Sunday. And then as I press send, it updates with 3 seconds, and I see somehow they got a safety. And I'm like, okay, now I've lied on the email.
Now you look like a jackass because, now you're lying in email.
Yeah, but you know what? Luckily, we post the results. They go to fatjacksports.com, look there, see all the results. You'll see last week everybody made money. Everybody's deep into profit. If you're missing out, I don't know what to do. We're running the preseason specials right now. These plays are basically free. No matter what package you sign up for, they're basically free between now and September. That's the reality. And the reason you say that is because prices will actually go up between now and September. So if you sign up today, you're going to pay less money than you would do if you signed up in September. You're getting all the plays between now and September. And this goes for either package, whether you're on the combo package, the payment plan combo package, or the football only. With football, they're all less expensive than they're going to be in September. So everything between now and September is free when you sign up. So go to fatjacksports.com. So basically, guys that took advantage, I did a bunch that took advantage of that, and they all went 9-2 and didn't pay a dime for it. So they're already to profit. This is similar to what baseball season does. We're not giving away baseball for free this summer, but right now, if you sign up at fatjacksports.com, you get the baseball season for free through your package. So sign up. Take advantage of the lowest rates. Stop being a losing gambler. Just stop being a loser. If you're betting and losing, stop doing that. It saves you money. You can pay out the service fee. I get it if it's October 15th and you, for whatever reason, have made enough bad decisions that you just can't justify signing up, even though you should, and I'll get you back most likely where you need to be, or at least get you heading in the right way. There's no excuse now. The prices can't be any lower. It's like $40 a week. You get baseball for free. You just missed a 9-2. The only reason you're not signed up is because your ego is bigger than your brain. And if you're betting, and if you're not betting, listen to the show. Thanks for coming out. But if you're betting, go to fatjacksports.com. Get these great deals. They're not going to last. Prices are going up. The elite package won again last week. Those lower rated plays, that package goes up $1,000 in this next week. So if you're interested in those lower rated plays, go to the questions tab, go to the package tab, scroll all the way to the bottom, read about the elite package. You play more than $300 a game, like to play more than just the top plays, all those more than just our games. That package might be for you. So go check that out. Email us if you want pricing on that. Costs more money. It's more inclusive. Not better picks, just more. But those picks turn a profit over the long run, just like the top plays do. This year, again, they've been very, very profitable. So go to fatjacksports.com. Stop losing. Stop guessing. Come on, guys. It's time to get signed up. Time to win as we head into Wild Card Weekend. Brandon, how was your week last week before we turn the page?
Honestly, pretty tame. The January for me is always a really kind of quiet month because you get through all the mayhem of like my birthday and Halloween, and then Thanksgiving, and then Christmas, and then we got Vegas Super Bowl weekend coming up. So generally, I try to stay very low key in January just so we can turn up in 5 weeks in Vegas.
Yeah, we're almost there. I mean, we're starting the playoffs now, so we're one step closer. The last week before we get going forward, a couple of interesting things. I wrapped up the Las Vegas Hilton, the Superbook contest. 2 weeks ago, I'd moved into the top 35 or so. I went 1-4 2 weeks ago with those plays. Our clients won because I had a bunch of totals, but they don't allow you to do totals. You have to do sides. So 1-4. This last week, I went 3-2, back in the top 100. They haven't posted the final results. And by the way, this is about 8,000, 9,000 people that do this, and I'm in the top. I'm always in the top couple hundred. This year, I'm definitely in the top 100. I might cash. I'm thinking probably not. I think 5-0 would have made it interesting, even with the 1-4. But because a lot of the teams, Green Bay, a lot of the teams that everybody liked, Green Bay, everybody liked. Who else did everybody like? I'm trying to think who everybody was on that in that contest that didn't cash. But there were a number of teams that a lot of people bet on that I steered clear of and didn't lose with. Teams like the Giants, that was a sharp play. Cleveland was a sharp play. The Chargers were a pretty sharp play.
I would imagine a lot of people were on Dallas too.
Tampa Bay, Dallas. Those were the public plays also last week. That just everybody lost. We went with 9-2. Everybody else lost. I mean, that's what happened last week. So if you played and you lost, add up how much you lost and apply 9-2 to it and see how that would have got you. Not counting the undefeated baseball or basketball that swept all weekend long too. So definitely a great time to get signed up. That was the first thing. So into the top 100, may cash, probably not. I'm not going to retire over it for sure. Might make a few $1,000s. They have mini contests also. That I was in like 5th place in the last 6 weeks, and so 3-2 might. We'll see. I mean, the whole thing is we'll see. But good there. And I'll tell you, Brandon, we talked about the bad beats last week. I feel a lot better because of what happened in the Survivor contest at the Circa. Did you see that, Brandon?
I saw that there were people that were tied going into the final weekend or something. It was a really close kind of race down the stretch.
So the Survivor contest is basically you pick one team per week. And I don't know the specific rules. It's not really my world. But I know you can only use a team once.
Right.
So once you use the Jets are done. So you got to pick another team. So you get down to the end, and you have very few teams left because you've had to win. It's just basically straight up, not against the spread. It's a winner-take-all, $6 million prize pool, $6 million. Going into this last weekend, there were 3 guys that had won every week, and here were their picks, Brandon, and it is just nauseating. So anything that happened on the scoop and scores and all that kind of crap with us, it doesn't compare to what this dude's going through. So the one guy had won on Saturday. I think he had, I don't even know, Indianapolis maybe. Somebody that had won. No, that's wrong. Had somebody that won on Saturday. So he had won. They had one winner, $6 million. Like I say, if all 3 of them hit their last game, they split $6 million, so $2 million apiece. One guy had Seattle, and he lost, obviously, because Seattle lost.
No,
right?
Seattle won.
No, Seattle won. Okay, so 2 winners. I didn't have that game. I didn't care about it. So I know they were down earlier. I didn't know they'd come back. So the other one, which was basically a $2 million game for him, he had Houston, Houston Texans. So, and he's at the Circus Sportsbook watching the game. So he's all over Twitter. You can watch him basically. And if you watch that game, they have 4th and 20, right? It was Houston, right? They lost 32-31. No, it was Indy. Must have been Indy. It was Indy over Houston playing Indy.
There you go.
So Indy, he has to have Indy win straight up. Indy's up, I don't know, 8 points, I guess, with like seconds to go, 20 seconds or so. 4th and 20 from about the 35-yard line. So all he's got to do is get a stop on 4th and 20. Houston throws the ball down. The guy doesn't try to knock it down. They catch the ball and either score or get it on the 1-yard line. They end up going in the next play. Still has to have a 2-point conversion to win. They were actually up 7. Indy was up 7. So instead of going for the tie, because it's the last week of the season and they're playing for nothing except a trip to Cabo, they go for 2. So Houston goes for 2, gets the 2-point conversion and wins. And basically in 20 seconds and a 4th and 20 that they couldn't knock the ball down, Indy gives up the lead, gives up a 2-point conversion to lose. So basically $2 million flies out the window. And this guy is sick to his stomach. I mean, I can't. It would take me a while. I got plenty of money, but it would just take me a while. On 4th and 20, I need 1 stop and then a 2-point conversion. All that happens, and you basically win nothing. It's not like there's a backup consolation prize. It's all or nothing. So 2 winners in that for $3 million apiece.
Yeah, 4th and 20, they give up, and then they turn around and get a 28-yard touchdown with literally 50 seconds on the clock, and then the 2-point conversion. I used to take my dog on very long walks when I would have bad beats like that. If I lost a possible $2 million cut,
Forrest Gump, right?
Yeah, right. You just go till you get to the ocean, then you turn
You're
around.
out in the middle, and you turn around, come back. You and the dog are somewhere in the desert right now trying to figure out how to get home because you didn't walk in a circle. So, I can't. I mean, bad beat for $2 million. I mean, $2 million plus. So come on. I mean, gosh,
is that what would be a worse bad beat? That or the way that the Jets lost?
For the money?
Yeah.
For the money, I was going to say the Jets. anytime the toss around. No, I don't know, man. Maybe fourth and 20, make a play.
4th and 20 and a 2-point conversion.
Yeah, a 2-point conversion, make a play. Probably that, right? I mean, it's
Both are
very close.
rough. Goodness.
Yeah,
Good news
both
is we don't
very,
have
very
to-
close. Luckily, ours was nothing. It was for
Right.
a 8-0 sweeper on Sunday and a 10-1 weekend or week versus a 9-2 and a 6-1 or 7-1, whatever it was. So, nothing but winners. Excited about the week for us. Feel really, really bad for that dude who sweated it all year long to basically be kicked in the you-know-what right at the end of the day. On video, by the way. Everybody's taping it. Everybody's watching it. And he goes down in defeat. So, FatJackSports.com. If you don't want to be a part of that, go get signed up today, guys. Go get on the website. You get the place text to your cell phone, their email to you. As I said, you can get the weekend for $99 for the football for the wild card playoff weekend. Football and basketball, very inexpensive, less than $189 for everything through Monday with the football and hoops. But if you get signed up long term, you can pay it out over. It's $400 down, $180 a month over the next 10 months or so. And you're getting everything through the 2024 Super Bowl for football. Add basketball, that very inexpensive as well. Sign up today and win. I am in London, as I said. Let's give away a free winner or something so we can get some sports in here. I had a crazy thing happen on the plane.
These things seem to, I would say, flock to you, but at the same time, your energy doesn't necessarily invite that. So I don't know if there's a chaos thing going on in your aura or what's going on there, but
yeah, I invite nothing. I literally do not want anybody. I was flying by myself. In fact, I take sedation medicine that puts me to sleep, which is part of the story.
We've seen video of that once too.
Exactly. Well, I took it on this deal too, and mayhem ensued.
Oh,
so, and it wasn't my fault. As far as I know, I sat there quietly and had things happen to me. I felt like Jodie Foster in The Accused. So it was just a weird deal. We'll talk about that after the break and much more. Let's look at these games going on this weekend in the playoffs, Brandon. What game jumps out at you? What do you like the most this week?
From a watchability standpoint, LA and Jacksonville for me is entertaining just because you got a team that probably a lot of people expected to at least be in the playoff chase with the Chargers, and then Jacksonville, who went from worst to first, at least in their division, had the number 1 overall pick this year, and now won the AFC South and is hosting a home playoff game. That is an intriguing matchup, a really close line, and I think you could make a case for either team winning that game Saturday night.
And Chargers a 1.5 point favorite on the road,
Mm-hmm.
And this is not a team that's just killed it. Now, people who dig a little deeper understand they've had a ton of injuries this year,
and then they had another one Sunday.
Exactly. And they're getting healthy at the right time with a lot of their players. So that's why we kind of forgot. They underachieved early in the year. We have a bunch of teams in the playoffs exactly that. They had parts of the season. There's so many teams in the playoffs that there are parts of the seasons where you can look back with a lot of these teams and say, that didn't go. The Dolphins, for one. I mean, they basically, after really, really looking like they're going to do something, faded down the stretch. Giants have gone through some stretches. The Ravens, I think if you ask the average guy, Lamar Jackson hasn't played forever.
Mm-hmm.
What are they even doing in the playoffs? How do they get there? And of course, the Bucs have been well documented. I mean, they're a team that has been horrible, but they won their division, so they're in, and they're hosting a game as well, similar to Jacksonville hosting a game against the Cowboys, which all of a sudden doesn't seem like it's a have to lose game when you get Tom Brady and company, or just Tom Brady, against the Cowboys team that is reeling, right? I mean, this is a Cowboys team that, if you lose to Washington, you lose to anybody.
Absolutely, especially, and they looked terrible Sunday. That was just a bad effort all the way around. And you got to wonder, were they just kind of mail it in because they had resigned to the fact that they probably weren't going to beat, even if they won that game, Philly wasn't going to lose because the Giants were resting starters. So they kind of knew they were going to be the 5 seed and go on the road anyway. So they didn't have a ton to play for. But that performance leaves at least a small seed of doubt in your head if you're going to walk up to the window and bet the Cowboys this weekend.
Well, look back. They played Jacksonville. We're lucky. The loss there. Mm-hmm. They played Houston. We're lucky to win there. Not for a goal line. This is not a Cowboys team that's closing strong at all.
I got a stat on the Cowboys, by the way.
But the bigger problem is they're averaging more than an interception per game. Dak Prescott's turning the ball over at will. You can't win in the playoffs doing that. You can't win the regular season doing that as well. What do you have? What stat you got?
Well, speaking of interceptions, yeah, Dak thrown a pick in 7 straight games. Cowboys 12-1 straight up this year on turf. The only loss was to Tampa when Dak got hurt in the third quarter of that game. But they're 1-4 on grass. So I don't know if that plays into anything this weekend being in Tampa, but I mean, it's at least something to maybe pay attention to.
If they beat Tampa, it's because Tampa stinks.
And they kind of do. So
yeah, I mean they do. I mean Tom Brady hasn't been Tom Brady. The defense has gotten tired. They started the year playing really well. Fournette's been good lately, but not. He's not carrying anybody. Evans has had glimmers of things, but he's banged up. So, but Dallas is beatable by everybody. We've seen that. I mean, who loses to Houston and turns around, or almost loses to Houston, turns around, and loses to Washington? I don't buy we don't care.
No.
I mean, I just don't buy it at all. I mean, when you're going to the play, this Cowboy team went from a month ago looking like a team that might compete for the Super Bowl to a team that looks like the typical Cowboys we've seen over the last 10 years. I mean, I don't know what the stat is of them winning in the playoffs, but it's not good. They've not won a lot of playoff games, have not done any damage at all in 20 years. I mean,
yeah,
a long,
I want to say
time.
if you know someone who's a senior in college currently, the Cowboys have won 2 playoff games in that kid's lifetime, and those are all in the last, I want to say, 6 years.
Yeah, so I mean, this is not, and they look a lot now. A month ago, you said, "Well, that's changing for sure." Boy, right now I'm not so sure because this team is definitely reeling. Yeah, back to the Jacksonville game. Jacksonville hosting the Chargers. Chargers are favored. I think people are going to find a lot of reasons to play Jacksonville. They've looked really, really good. I will tell you, the Chargers have been great on the road when they play Jacksonville. 5-0 against the spread their last 5 when they go to Jacksonville. So they typically travel that west to east, and everybody's, they're playing first thing in the morning. That has not mattered at all. They've typically gotten it done 5-0 against the spread their last 5 at Jacksonville, 9-1 against the spread their last 10 overall against Jacksonville. Chargers have owned Jacksonville. And as I said, they're getting healthy. Jacksonville 5-0 straight up their last 5 games. We've talked about how well they're closing. The over has gone over typically in this series. They've been a lot more points. 6 of the last 7 games in the series have gone over the total. I do think there will be more points. The playoffs are typically this wild card round about the favorites. You'll get teams that are a lot better than similar. Think back to what we just saw with San Francisco and Arizona. Even Arizona got out, they scored a touchdown, but eventually the better team drew off. And there's a lot of teams playing this weekend, this wild card round, that they're thinking to themselves, we're really pretty lucky to be here. We backed in. We're not just talking about Tampa and talking about Jack or the Chargers or these teams that are limping in. But teams like Seattle,
Miami, the Giants, those are teams that aren't really coming into the playoffs on a high note.
Exactly. And so what are you getting out of them? The Giants only a 3-point underdog to the Vikings. That's got upset written all over it if you watch the lines and just like to make those knee-jerk reactions. We'll talk more about those games and much more. Free winner between the Chargers and the Giants. I actually like I'm trying to think because I may release this game, part of this game, but let's do a free winner on the Chargers. Because I do think that they probably go get it done. They've owned the Jaguars on the road. They've owned them overall. I don't love the side, but I do like the total in this game. Maybe not enough to play it. So if you don't get it, don't freak out. If you're, your client, we'll have better plays. We have a bunch of plays this weekend. If you want the best plays, go to fatjacksports.com. Get signed up for those. We're going to take a quick break. I'm going to come back, tell you about my weird encounter on the plane coming over here to London and much, much more. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Wild Card Playoff round of the Fat Jack Sports Hour. Hey, this is the Fat Jack, and it's playoff time. How did your week go last week? My clients were 9-2 in football, had an incredible week, and only 1 loss over the weekend. Everybody's deep into profit. The basketball won as well. It's time to get signed up for playoff action. Go to fatjacksports.com, and only $99 to get you all the football this week. At basketball, it's less than $199 to make money betting the games. Plays are text to your cell phone and email to you. Go to fatjacksports.com to win today. fatjacksports.com.
Hey, it's Brandon Rush from the Fat Jack Sports Service. If you want to stay in touch with everything related to the Fat Jack, follow us on all the socials. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, you name it. We are there at Fat Jack Sports. You can also watch the Fat Jack Sports Hour on YouTube every weekend. Plus, see funny clips from the show, see Jack's appearances on the nationally syndicated TV show Beat the Odds, and get primed for more profit every week with Bets and Breakfast, Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. only on YouTube. Stay connected to the Fat Jack at Fat Jack Sports on all the socials and on YouTube. Welcome back to the Fat Jack Sports Hour. And now here is our host, a man getting us ready for the NFL playoffs. He is the Fat Jack.
Thank you so much, Brandon. Fat Jack Sports Hour, segment number 2. It doesn't look like I should be going, Yes, I've got her. I've got her tied away. I mean, it just looks a little serial killer-ish.
Yeah, if you're watching on
the
YouTube,
video.
you're getting strong like You vibes. Did you ever watch that show You on Netflix?
No.
Oh,
I
that's
try not to
it's
watch anything scary or sad, like The
yeah.
Notebook. I've never seen The Notebook.
Oh, fantastic movie.
Do people die in the end of The Notebook? I'm not watching
I
if they
mean, I'm
die.
I'm not going to give away spoilers, but
I
I
won't
mean,
watch it
no.
because I think they do. What else?
Good.
Sad or dying, or dog movies. Had the
Oh,
movie
oh,
about the
after
dogs are
after
dying.
after openly weeping at Marley and Me, I'm done. Never
Marley
again.
and Me. That's the one.
Yeah,
I'm not watching
if
that.
there's a dog, even if there's like a dog in the movie, like anywhere in the movie trailer, I'm not watching because 99% sure the dog's going to die.
I was trying to flip over here in London to Gogglebox, which is one of my favorite shows over here. It's basically people sitting around watching other people watch TV. That Naked Attraction are the two I love. Naked Attractions, basically, we've talked about it before.
Yes.
You date based on how somebody looks naked. They expose them naked, and they say, "Hey, what do you think of his unit there? How do you like that? I mean, you like the shaft? All those type of things." They're like, "Okay," and they eliminate people based on nothing. I love that show. And then over here, Gogglebox. Well, I flip over. I'm trying to get Gogglebox, and it's the very end of A Quiet Place. You ever seen A Quiet Place?
I believe so. Yes.
With Jim Halpert.
Yes.
I flip over and they're killing some alien dude thing's killing him. He's signing his daughter. Huh?
Spoilers.
I asked my daughter, I said, how in the hell's that happened? They've got a Quiet Place 2. Jim Halpert's dead.
Yeah.
How's that work? So she Googled it and told me how that works. It's
Right.
stupid. I'm not watching it. I won't watch it. There's enough stuff in the world with the Jets getting scoop and scored and Mississippi State giving their crap at the end of their stupid bowl game. I don't need to be watching Jim Halpert die to some alien who heard him cough or something ridiculous like that. Fat Jack
Sports provide enough drama for you. You don't need scripted drama.
I'm not doing it. I watched Love Island. Sign me up for Love is Blind.
New season of Love Island, by the way.
When?
It's apparently out now.
I'll
look it up, but yeah, saw an ad for it the other day.
I can't wait. I mean, because I know that there's my other show that I like. I forget it had a new season. Anyway, I watch that kind of crap. I'm not watching bad stuff. So Fat Jack Sports Hour, segment number 2. Get signed up. 9-2 last week. We want more. You had 2 terrible beats. I could have gone 11-0. Should have gone 11-0. If you talk about, the wins were so easy. Kansas City under, easy winner last Saturday. We went through Sunday's game, all easy winners. The 2 losses were just brutal bad beats. We're dialed in, and it's the playoffs. $99 through Monday for football. Depending on when you listen to the show, somewhere between $189 and $149 for football and basketball all the way through Monday. So get signed up for that. Get those picks. So I'm flying over here, Brandon. We're giving more playoff action coming, more wild card action games coming. A few more trends with that stuff, and another free winner, at least probably 2 more. I'm flying over here. I leave at 8:45 Tampa time in the evening. Fly direct. It's like a 9-hour flight.
Oof.
And 9.5. And you get here like 10 o'clock the next morning. So overnight. So business class was sold out. I'm on Virgin, and business was sold out. So I'm in, I don't know what it's called, super elite preferred or whatever. It's basically bigger seats that don't recline all the way back. I don't sleep well on planes anyway, but I thought, you know what? I'm flying over. I got stuff to do when I get there. Let me go ahead and take my sedation medicine to put me asleep. So I fall asleep. Don't eat nothing. I'm just laying over. I get a window seat. I'm asleep. I wake up, and the dude next to me, who is English, he's a British guy, and he's going home. He looks at me and says, "Oh, by the way, sir, I spilled all my red wine on your crotch, and I'd be more than happy to." So I look down. I can't even imagine the scene as he's dumping red wine on my crotch because I didn't move. I mean, I've got dried red wine. It's dried up because it's hours ago. It could happen 5 minutes after I fell asleep. So he basically dumps 8 ounces of red wine on my lap.
Looks like a crime scene.
It looks like a crime scene. My pants are ruined. I have my favorite pair of velour, sweatpants thing. They're gray. But I've got this dried patch of red wine. So I'm trying to come out of my coma, basically. And I said, "What?" He said, "I accidentally spilled," on his accent, "I accidentally spilled red wine all over your crotch. I'm so sorry, mate. I'm more than happy to buy you some new pants." I said, Are we going shopping when we're done here? How does that work?" Does duty
Do
free
I
have
Venmo
Valori now?
you?
I'm trying to put two and two together. I don't think we're going shopping. So I didn't have the wherewithal or whatever to say, how about give me $120 and we'll call it even. But I should have done that because I basically, apparently when I was asleep on the plane, I got red wine dumped all over me. Hopefully he didn't try to dry it up because I'm asleep. I'm out. I don't remember any of it. But I woke up with a big red, my pants are ruined. So just weird. I felt like I don't know what happened, but I know it wasn't good. So, and there was a moment there when the man thought I was dead.
That's always fun. That's always fun.
Most people, when you dump 8 ounces of red wine on their crotch,
have some sort of reaction.
They're going to wake up. Not me. I've got my medicine. I'm out.
Knocked out. Drooling on the window. Whole nine.
I guess. Yeah. There's no telling. Maybe I responded. I've been on this before. I'm talking about this. Julie Traber took this same medicine. When it had a business meeting, she went and got her wedding dress on and went to the business meeting in her wedding dress.
I've heard that story, and it never is not funny.
She's showing up with a bunch of people from Hitachi. She rolls in her wedding dress, her daughter's prom dress, or something ridiculous like that. So she's rolling in her holding court on this. So maybe I responded. Maybe we had a whole conversation. I might take my pants down. I'm not sure what happened. I just know that by the end of the flight, he did not want to have a lot of conversation with me. And what he did was basically explain to me he had ruined my pants and we were not going shopping, even though he said he would buy me new pants.
Medications in public are always entertaining. I went to a 4-day concert festival back in September. And one of the days was just really, it was like the early day. That was all the bands I wanted to see were early that day. The nightcap, I really didn't care. Had some friends coming and going as the day progressed. Medication. And then next thing I know, I'm just like walking out of the festival, minding my own business, and just like start walking across the street to the airport.
That's no good.
No. So yeah, anytime I won't take anything if I'm traveling anywhere anymore.
It's a slippery slope, man.
Unless I'm at home and I have like a pillow and a blanket, I'm not doing anything.
I got 10 hours going back. I fly back to Vegas from here to Vegas. One plane, one shot on Wednesday, so I can do the TV show Thursday, bet this weekend's games, and do that on Thursday. So I don't know. I can do 10 and a half hours without taking it, but we'll see. We'll see how I feel. So Fat Jack Sports Service, go get signed up today, guys. Preseason rates are going to go up next week. Then they're going to go up again at the Super Bowl. Then they go up again March 1st. Then they go up again April 1st, May 1st, June, July, August, September. That's how it works. So if you sign up today, you're getting the best rate by far than if you wait until September. And you're getting all the plays between now and September for free because you would pay more signing up in September. And guys will sign up in September. They do it every year. But you're going to get all the plays between now and then for free just by taking advantage of these early bird rates that only are offered this time of year, along with paying out the service fee. You signed up this time last week, you were rewarded with 9-2 in football, and I think, 5 or 6-0 over the weekend in basketball. So great time to take advantage of it, start winning, get in the system. Even if you don't play baseball, maybe you go to Vegas now and then, or you go to Colorado in the summer, whatever, to your grandpa's cabin. You can bet up there. Just bet the bases when you're up there. So they make about 50 to 60 games of profit per year, and those are free when you take advantage of that. Now also the Triple Crown for free coming up here in May. More golf bets coming. This weekend UFC starts back, by the way.
Nice.
So if you're betting the UFC, if you're not, you should be. Last year they made about 25 games of profit for the UFC, and this will be the first card of the year. So you can get all 23 for about less than $100 a month for the UFC plays. It's $1,000 for the entire year, 365 days. So you can do the math. You're paying about $75, $80 a month, $20 a week to make money, more money, extra money, betting on the UFC. And you can do that also at fatjacksports.com and get signed up. Let's look at this Dallas-Tampa Bay game. Brandon, what are your thoughts? These two teams, obviously storied history with what Tampa did a couple years ago, winning the Super Bowl. They've got the GOAT, a quarterback. They got their way into the playoffs, and this Dallas team is just going absolutely the wrong way in a hurry. So what are your thoughts here?
I honestly thought that probably 3 weeks ago that there was an opportunity here for Dallas to really kind of do what Dallas does in the playoffs, which is – be a little bit hyped going in and then just completely lay an egg. I thought Mike McCarthy was a bad hire when Jerry brought him in, and it would not shock me if when we get back around to things on Monday that if the Dallas has lost, that Mike McCarthy's out and they try to bring Sean Payton in. It just feels like all the dominoes are falling in the right spot. And everything you talked about earlier, though, with Tampa is right. Brady hasn't been great. The defense hasn't been great. Mike Evans has been up and down, been completely banged up. Would not shock me if Tampa wins this game, especially because they're playing at home and Dallas has looked so rough for the last few weeks.
Well, I'll tell you, Sean Payton is the hottest commodity in football right now. Denver's making a run at him as we speak. I guess they're trying to
they got permission. I got permission to interview him, and there's other jobs that are now open. Houston's open, Arizona's open. The Colts are open. So, I mean, there's going to be some movement coming up here in the next few weeks.
He's going to make a ton of money. It'll be record payday for him. You know what I'd be interested in is, and I'm going to break down, we're going to talk about this Dallas-Tampa game, but Mike Tomlin might consider doing exactly the same thing. He's a guy that, just like Sean Payton, does so much with his talent level. I know Steelers fans don't want to hear that. But no matter how good or bad they are, he gets more than the most out of them. And I think Sean Payton is probably given that roadmap for those elite type coaches that if you just go sit out a year, just go do something, take a break, reset. And I don't know where Mike Tomlin is in his life. I think his kids are older.
I think both his boys are either in college or right at the tail end of their college career. So,
but it is certainly not out of the realm of possibility. There's very few that hold that type of clout. Obviously, Bill Belichick would be one of those, and people would still debate what he's worth without Brady and all that. But he's one they might look at making a change. And definitely Mike Tomlin is the other one. I would be real careful. Andrew Reid's they're going to run deep in the playoffs. I don't think he's going anywhere. No. But if you're on one of those teams that, maybe how far is Pittsburgh from playing in the Super Bowl?
Oof. I mean, they need some talented receiver. They need to beef up that defense. I mean, at best, 2 to 3 years.
Now you're saying, well, Jack, Denver's not any closer. Houston's not. The jobs he would get are not, and that's absolutely correct.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess my point would be, if you're one of those, if you feel like a change of scenery might do you some good, and he's young enough, it's not the worst thing in the world to maybe go sit back and take a year off and then just basically take your pick. I mean, they are going to fight over Sean Payton, and he is going to get paid huge money. It's going to break records on how much he gets paid. And frankly, he's probably worth every penny. The guy develops quarterbacks. He's great at his job. He's good with the players.
He's good by himself for 2 wins a year.
Yeah, he is. I mean, and the numbers from a gambling standpoint bow that out. I mean, he does. I mean, he covers 2 or 3 more games a year. And by the way, so does Tomlin.
Mm-hmm.
They both are very, very good when they are undermatched. They outcoach guys and get wins done. We're seeing what's happening in Jacksonville and what coaches are worth.
Yep.
I mean, we talk about worst coaches in the history of the league. I mean, the dude that just got fired from Denver certainly threw his name in the hat.
Yeah,
Urban Meyer
was sort of like the bottom, the basement floor of that. But yeah, Nathaniel Hackett, his time in Denver was mediocre. Would have been a compliment.
Yeah, it's pretty much to be in that list of the worst coaches. You have to have done something besides be horrible on the field, and he
Bobby
basically.
Petrino.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So there's 2 or 3 of them that you would look at and say they not only were horrible on the field, they were horrible off the field, and that puts you in that conversation. But coaching matters, and these teams know that, and they're going to go after Sean Payton hard, and definitely after Tomlin if something was to happen there. Dallas, Tampa Bay. Dallas a favorite, as they should be. 6 of the last 7 games in this series have gone under the total. Dallas a 3-point favorite. So I think the instinct of the public, they really like recency bias.
Sure.
But I do think that even as bad as Dallas has played, that I think the general public, you're going to get more money. Be interesting to see where this goes by game time. I think you're going to get more money in on Dallas here. I don't think people trust what Tampa is. They're going to get pressure on the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Their front 4 of Dallas and really their defense in general, they're very good at getting pressure on quarterbacks. They can get it up the middle, which is where you attack Tom Brady from. 6 of the last 7 games of the series have gone under. And 4 of the last 5 Tampa games have gone over, and that's based on their defense. So they're giving up points. I do think, we talk about horses for courses and what matchups benefit one team or another. And I do think this is a good matchup for Dallas. What they do well is not what Tampa necessarily stops well, which is if you get them in predictable down and distance. Now, of course, turnovers are the X factor. If Dak Prescott doesn't go out and stop turning the ball, it's not going to matter.
Right.
Because you can't this time of year lose turnovers by more than 1.5, somewhere in that range against in any of these teams and typically win. It's very, very difficult. You have to protect the ball. And the one thing we've been able to rely on with Dallas is their lack of ability of protecting the football. So I do think that they will short up a little bit. And as I said, Tampa's defense has been more vulnerable here over the last 2 or 3 games. Over 4 of their last 5 games. They're giving up a bunch of points. Brady hasn't gotten a lot better. They're still going over. I do think this game probably trends to the over, and I would lean toward Dallas. So what do you like here, Brady? You think because this is one of those games I think it's a lot easier to speculate and guess than it is to bet on. You know, when I talk about that when I go around the country, it's easy to sit here and say this might happen. But when you say somebody gives you 20,000 and say, all right, listen, you got to pick a side. It becomes a much tougher conversation in games exactly like this. So what are your thoughts on this one?
I'm with you. I kind of lean towards Dallas winning here just because, I mean, they have one of the best receivers in the game. They have one of the better tight ends and running backs and quarterbacks. Defense, I mean, Micah Parsons might be the defensive MVP of the year. This is a team that has pieces that they could win a championship with. And if it doesn't happen now, Jerry's going to blow it up. So I feel like they're probably going to at least go out there and be able to get it done. I will say, in watching this game on Monday night, I have a feeling this is a game that I'm going to want a live bet, because if it comes down to where it's a 1-possession game and Tampa has the ball with 3 minutes to play, hey, I'm firing Tampa live, because you don't bet against the goat at your own risk.
Yeah, you also, if you want to play over, and we don't talk enough about that, Brandon, with the live bet opportunities in this country with all the different ways to bet, there are definitely some games that you should be able to make some money on based on how it's going to start. And the personality of this game is not going to be a lot of points early. It will be run it into the line of scrimmage, play defense, all those type things. Win the time of possession. So you could basically, if the game opens, so you guys watch this, if you're out there and you have an offshore sports book, watch this total, because I'll guarantee it's 45.5 right now or so. I guarantee you 3 minutes in, it'll be 43. So if you like the over, and I do tend to think it probably gets over, although I think you're going to have to earn it. I would play Dallas before I would play the total over. But if you like the over, now if you like the under, you should play it now, because I do believe the first 2 or 3 drives are going to be nothing spectacular. The Bucs had gone, I think, 8 or 9 games in a row and not scored on their opening drive. And if they don't score on their opening drive, I think this total trends down. You could probably get 41, 42. And there are not every game provides that. The Ravens-Bengals game, similar. If you like over, and I'm not saying I do, but if you like over, I would wait because you're not going to get a lot of offense early, I think, out of either one of these teams. Same way with the Vikings and the Giants. I mean, some of these just set up for slow starts, and I think that's what you're getting here, at least with those type games. So in betting, something we should really spend a little more time on, because there are ways to make more money doing that. There's ways to middle spots in that. I almost, in that Houston game on Sunday, we had over the total. It was 38, and it was it was actually 10-7 about 7 minutes in. And the in-game total was 49. Then they scored again. So that's 10 or 11 points, a pretty good window.
Mm-hmm.
And I almost jumped on that. And I thought, you know what? This game's flying over. Don't even risk. I'm glad I didn't. It went into the 50s. But there's definitely opportunities on that if you think things are going to slow down. But that one wasn't one of them. So FatJackSports.com. Go get signed up today. Start winning this weekend and making money. It's wild card weekend. Those early bird packages are available. Coming off a 9-2 week in football. We swept the board last week in basketball. Everything's posted and documented. Go to the website, fatjacksports.com. Upper right-hand corner, you can look at the results. You look at the exact games that you received when you signed up. And if you sign up this week, go there on Monday. You're going to see all those games posted and documented, wins and losses next to them. That way you know you're getting only the best plays that are going to get you into profit. Let's talk about the Super Bowl, Brandon, before we get out of here, because the playoffs are upon us. Who do you like at this point? What do you think? Who's going to win it all?
I got a really good feeling that the 49ers might be the team, even with Mr. Irrelevant at quarterback. If they stay healthy, that is a dynamic offense, and I feel like they're going to give a lot of teams in the NFC some trouble. Decent value at 5-1.
Yeah, 5.5 to 1 actually in a lot of places.
So I mean, it's chalky, but I mean, they're a tough team that I think is getting overlooked a little bit, even though they're maybe the number 3 or number 4 pick on the board.
I mean, I guess it's a little chalky. It's just it's not the favorite. I mean, Kansas
No.
City 3+3 to 1, a little over that. Buffalo 4-1, Philly over 5-1. The thing you like about San Francisco is that if they stay healthy is something you say about every single one of these teams.
Sure, of
If
course.
Patrick Mahomes goes down for Kansas City, they're done. If Josh
Yes.
Allen goes down, if
Yes.
Jalen Hurts goes down, San Francisco, you stop with that, right? I mean, they definitely probably need good quarterback play to win it all, but they're not. This is not the Bears from the '80s or whatever. But this definitely, they don't need as good a play. They're balanced, and it is 5.5 to 1. I mean, you get
Which is
plus
crazy
5.
because they have a third string quarterback play.
They're very well balanced. The pickup of McCaffrey was a huge get.
Mm-hmm.
Defensively, they're sound. They have coaches that have now been here. We talked about a couple years or last year. I liked the Rams. I like the fact that McVay had kind of been there, done that, had seen that, and he hadn't closed the deal, but he knew kind of what to expect. And you get these new coaches. I mean, it's hard to go from zero to hero in 1 year. That experience does matter. Bengals are next up 7.5 to 1. I'm sticking with Philly. I gave away Philly preseason. I don't love it, but at this point, it'd be like, switching off the Rams last year at this point. I'm not doing it. Everybody got Philly at 23 to 1 before the season. They got Arizona and Philadelphia. Arizona, obviously not anywhere to be found. Philadelphia, right in the thick of things. If you didn't like Philadelphia, every sharp player I know liked Philadelphia. I mean, it was literally before the season. There's a ton of money on Philadelphia to win it. It's all from wise guys. Every one of it. I mean, we all have some part of Philly winning. It doesn't mean they're going to, but we're going to be able to get you into areas that are generally going to be successful. Not every time, and I don't even need Philly to win it all. I just need them to win a game. Yep. And then I'll start hedging back at 23 to 1. I'll take 10 to 1 if they win. And if they happen to lose along the way, I'll make money that way as well. And I can play, they're going to be favorites in a couple of games. So I'll be able to middle some of that as well, possibly. So I'll stick with Philly, but I don't hate your San Francisco pick because of the top, literally 7 teams. They're the one. I guess you could put Dallas in that also. They've proven their backup quarterback was more than enough.
Sure.
But other than that, all those top teams have to have good play at quarterback to get it across the finish line. Any final thoughts before we get out of here?
I'm ready for the playoffs because I start whittling down the fan bases by who's going to be in Vegas with us, and I'm really hoping Buffalo loses soon.
Yeah, boy, but Bills Mafia would be a tough one. We have stomached some tough ones before, so and heck, maybe we'll like them. It's always easier to stomach drunk idiots when we like them. So
always possible. Yeah.
We'll see what the matchup looks like. Listen to the show if you want more on that. We're going to be giving away all sorts of great information as we head up toward the Super Bowl, including top prop bets, predicted final score. We're going to make money again this weekend. So 9-2 last week with football, and we're going to keep it going all the way through the month of January. I said this last week, we haven't had a losing January in about 15 years, and we are off to an incredibly great start this January. Get signed up today if you want to join us. We're out of time?
Yep.
All right, guys. Have a great week. Drive safe, wager responsibly. Until next week, for Brandon Rush, this has been the Fat Jack and the Fat Jack Sports Hour. Hey, this is the Fat Jack, and it's playoff time. How did your week go last week? My clients were 9-2 in football, had an incredible week, and only one loss over the weekend. Everybody's deep into profit. The basketball won as well. It's time to get signed up for playoff action. Go to FatJackSports.com, and only $99 to get you all the football this week. At basketball, it's less than $199 to make money betting the games. Players are text your cell phone and email to you. Go to FatJackSports.com to win today. FatJackSports.com.
Hey, it's Brandon Rush from the Fat Jack Sports Service. If you want to stay in touch with everything related to the Fat Jack, follow us on all the socials. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, you name it. We are there at Fat Jack Sports. You can also watch the Fat Jack Sports Hour on YouTube every weekend. Plus, see funny clips from the show, see Jack's appearances on the nationally syndicated TV show Beat the Odds, and get primed for more profit every week with Bets and Breakfast, Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. only on YouTube. Stay connected to the Fat Jack at Fat Jack Sports on all the socials and on YouTube.